You just paid $10 a month for a VPN that promised absolutely zero logs, right there on the homepage. You're feeling pretty good about your digital privacy right now. Ever wonder if that promise actually means what you think it means? Today, I'll explain what VPN companies really keep about you, like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand what no logs actually means in practice. You'll also learn what data they're still collecting, and whether your threat model matches what your VPN can actually protect. Here's what most people believe about VPNs and privacy. You turn on your VPN and poof, you're invisible online. No records, no traces, just you floating through the internet like a digital ghost. The VPN company pinky swears they keep zero logs, and you take that literally. Zero means zero, right? But here's the uncomfortable truth. No logs is one of the most misleading phrases in tech. It means they keep some things, but not other things. And the marketing team decided which definition sounded better on a banner ad. Your VPN is keeping records about you at this very moment. Not because they're evil masterminds twirling mustaches in a dark room, because they literally have to keep some logs for legal reasons. When a VPN says no logs, they typically mean browsing logs. That's the actual websites you visit and the content of your traffic. That part is usually true for most providers. They're not recording that you spent 3 hours on Reddit arguing about whether a hot dog is a sandwich. They're not tracking your Netflix binges or keeping a spreadsheet of your Amazon impulse purchases. That specific data is actually not logged at all by most services. But here's what they're not telling you in that big, bold promise. Connection logs are a completely different thing, and almost every VPN keeps them for legal reasons. Here's the part that changes everything you thought you knew. Connection logs mean timestamps, when you connected and how long you stayed connected, which VPN server you used, and sometimes your original IP address before you connected. It's like saying, we don't film inside your car, but still keeping a record of every parking lot visit. Why do they keep connection logs in the first place? Because they legally have to in most countries. If someone uses their service to hack a bank or send threatening emails or distribute illegal content, law enforcement shows up with a subpoena demanding records. And the VPN company needs to be able to say, here's what we have. Otherwise, they risk getting shut down entirely. Think of it like your phone company. They don't record your actual conversations. That would be wiretapping. But they absolutely keep records of who you called, when you called them, and how long you talked. The content of your calls is private. The metadata, though, that's completely fair game for collection. And metadata can tell a surprisingly complete story about you. If your VPN shows you connected from your home IP address at 9:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, and you stayed connected for 2 hours straight, that's enough to identify you if someone really wants to. That single connection record links your real identity to that VPN session. Some VPNs go even further with their data collection practices. They keep payment information, your email, your credit card, your billing address, stored indefinitely because, shocker, they're running a business. Some keep device identifiers so they can enforce their 5 devices maximum policy. Some track bandwidth usage to make sure you're not running a small server farm. None of this is your browsing history exactly, but all of it is data that exists, and all of it can be subpoenaed by authorities. It's like buying a costume at a shop with your credit card and thinking nobody can trace it back because you wore the disguise well. Meanwhile, there's a receipt with your name on it sitting in a database. Now here's where jurisdiction becomes critical to understand. Not all VPNs operate in the same country, and that matters more than almost anything else. A VPN based in Switzerland has different legal obligations than one based in the United States or China. Some countries have strict data retention laws. They require companies to keep logs for 6 months or a year, no exceptions. Others have privacy-friendly laws that actually protect companies from being forced to log too much information, and some countries are part of intelligence sharing agreements, like the Five Eyes, Nine Eyes, or 14 Eyes alliances, where governments share data with each other freely. Your VPN might be in a country with great privacy laws, but if that country is buddies with a country that wants your data, the privacy protection evaporates through international cooperation agreements. This matters to you because your threat model might not match reality. If you're just trying to stop your internet provider from selling your browsing data, a VPN handles that perfectly. If you want to watch Netflix shows that aren't available in your region, sure, works great for that purpose. If you're on public Wi-Fi at a coffee shop and don't want someone snooping, VPN solves that problem effectively. But if your threat model involves hiding from law enforcement or state-level actors, or anyone with subpoena power, understand this clearly. A VPN company can be legally compelled to hand over whatever data they have, and those connection logs can absolutely identify you personally. You're not invisible to everyone. You're just wearing a raincoat in a light drizzle. Does this mean VPNs are useless for everyone? Absolutely not. They're incredibly valuable tools for everyday privacy. They encrypt your traffic so your ISP can't see what you're doing, and sell that data to advertisers. They hide your real IP address from websites you visit, so advertisers can't build profiles as easily. They add a meaningful layer of security when you're on sketchy public networks. But the marketing has created this fantasy that no logs means total anonymity, and that's just not true. It's like saying your car has advanced safety features, and assuming that means you're invincible on the road. Still helpful, not magic though. Here's what actually makes a difference if you care about real privacy. Jurisdiction matters. Choose VPNs based in countries with strong privacy laws, and no data retention requirements mandated. Payment method matters quite a bit too. If you pay with a credit card tied to your real name, they have that data forever. But if you pay with cryptocurrency or anonymous gift cards, that's one less thread to pull on. Independently audited, no logs, claims matter significantly. Some VPN companies actually hire third-party security firms to verify their claims, which is way more credible than just trusting the marketing page. And honestly, your own behavior matters most of all. If you log into your personal Gmail account while connected to your VPN, congratulations, you just identified yourself anyway. Google knows exactly who you are, VPN or not. The VPN encrypted the connection successfully. But you voluntarily told Google your identity. Want to know something that'll blow your mind? Some VPN providers have actually been tested in real court cases. In 2017, Turkish authorities raided ExpressVPN servers, trying to find user data related to an investigation. As they found nothing because ExpressVPN ran RAM-only servers that wiped everything on reboot automatically. These real-world tests prove that some VPN architectures genuinely can't keep logs, even if they wanted to under pressure. But here's the catch. Most VPNs don't use RAM-only servers. They use traditional storage that keeps connection logs sitting on hard drives. Ready to be copied if law enforcement shows up with warrants? The technology exists to truly keep zero logs. Most companies just don't implement it because it's expensive and complicated. So where does that leave us in the end? VPNs are useful privacy tools, not invisibility cloaks. No logs really means no browsing history logs specifically, but definitely some connection metadata gets stored. Almost every VPN keeps records of when you connected, how long you stayed connected, and which server. Payment and account info usually sticks around indefinitely. Jurisdiction determines what they're legally required to keep and who they have to share it with. And if someone with legal authority really wants your data, connection logs are often enough to identify you. You're not getting scammed by VPN companies. You're just getting marketed to with language that sounds more absolute than the actual technical reality behind it. To recap the key points, no logs typically means no browsing history, but connection logs, timestamps, IP addresses, servers used, are almost always kept. Payment info and device identifiers usually stick around too. VPNs in privacy-friendly jurisdictions with independent audits are more trustworthy than ones making big claims with zero proof. For everyday privacy from ISPs, advertisers, and casual snooping, VPNs work great. For hiding from law enforcement or state actors, connection metadata can still identify you if subpoenaed. And no VPN can protect you from yourself. Log into your real accounts and you've defeated the whole purpose. RAM-only server architecture exists as a solution to this, but most providers don't use it because of cost considerations. So here's the real question for you. Would you pay more for a VPN that actually uses RAM-only servers, one that accepts anonymous payment methods too? Or are you satisfied with standard no logs claims, the ones that still collect connection metadata? Drop your answer in the comments because this isn't just about privacy. It's about whether we're willing to pay for the protection we think we're already getting.